In this video, we are going to use hybrid flow for getting token and combine scopes for interactive client. We don't need to use two clients, as you know that we developed one client for access movie API and another client for OpenID interactive MVC movies client application. But with hybrid flow, we can also combine scopes under the OpenID Connect client. We can also add movie API scope in order to access protected API resources for one token, which getting via OpenID Connect MVC interactive client. So let's take an action now. First of all, let me close all of the windows and collapse all the projects. And we are going to change our flow to hybrid flow. So we should modify our grant type into the config.cs, right? For that purpose, we are going to locate the identity server application, because now we are changing the flow operation of the identity server get token flow. So that's why we should working on the identity server project, and we should focus on the config.cs. Open the config class, and we are going to changing our authentication flow with the hybrid flow. Okay, and let me go to the client section. Yes, as you can see that we have two clients, but with hybrid flow we are combining the clients, and we don't need to use these client anymore. We would like to only use this client because this client is an interactive client. We have developed the interactive page with the MVC application. When the user login, user already get the token with the OpenID. So once we have a token, we don't need to get a token again. So that's why we would not use this client again, and we are focusing on this MVC client application. So in this client, we are going to change our flow. As you can see that this is our flow information. We have a lot grant types, and the grant types is a code. Current value is a code, and as you can see that there is a other operations. Let me show in here. You can also see the grant types in here. We are going to change in this value is a hybrid grant type. Okay, please save the application, it is important. And after that, I have to use the require pkg equal false, because it is provide the default value is a true, and it's provide the additional configuration. So we also set the pkg protection as a false value, because it becomes true value and require proof key protection when we get the authorization code based token. We also get authorization code based token, but not required for proof key protection for now. That's why we should set the false value for this required pkg value property. So we have changed the code, these two lines of code under the movies MVC client client definition. After that, in the same place, we will extend our scopes with adding movie API into our allowed scopes. By this way, we can access the movie API with using only one token, which getting with OpenID Connect interactive client when login the system. So let's focus on the allowed scopes. And as you know that in the previous client, we have a allowed scope only movies client. We can copy these movies API and come here. After the OpenID and profile information, we would like to request the movie API scope. This is one of the important keyword. We should add these allowed scopes, because by this way, once we log in the system with the OpenID Connect, it is automatically is allowed these movies API with the existing token and with the hybrid flow. This is a very good feature when we are using the OpenID Connect. So we have added the movies API, and now we check the startup CS and make sure that these clients getting resources getting properly. Yes, as we already developed that, we have resource and scopes added properly. So as you can see that in memory clients, config clients, we added the clients in here, and also we have added the API scopes in here. So after we finish the config operations in the identity server project, let me build the identity server project, and after that we can also update the response type of our interactive MVC client project in order to connect with the hybrid flow. For that purpose, we also configure our MVC application. So in the MVC application, we have OpenID configurations. Yes, build succeeds for the identity server. So go to the MVC application. So under the startup CS, we have some configurations for the OpenID Connect. Yes, these configurations for the OpenID Connect. So in this configuration, we should also update the response type of our interactive MVC client project in order to connect hybrid flow. Let's see that there is a response type. We already mentioned about the response type and what's including that. So for the hybrid flow, we should configure services. We should change this one code ID token, because now we are going to use hybrid flow, right? And these are the flows what we are going to follow: code and empty and ID token. Okay, we will use the code ID token hybrid flow with giving the response type value. And also, as the same way, we would like to add a new scope, and the scope should be the Movies API. This scope name should be exactly same with the config of the identity server. As you can see that Movies API scope in here, and also it is definition is here, API scopes. So the name should be exactly same. So open the MVC startup CS, and what we have changed in here, we have changed the response type, and also we have added the new scope, which is the Movies API. So we add the Movies API scope in order to access with the same authentication access. By this way, we can access the API and identity values with getting one token in a hybrid flow. Next video, we are going to refactor our get token logic in our application.